out, the Prime Minister has been given a fond nickname in China. He is called Trudeau, which I believe means potato, and he is, I can't say the Chinese word, it's Xian Trudeau, little potato.
You're my little potato, you're my little potato, you're my little potato, they dug you up.
Oh hey, I just thought I'd show our friends in the US and the UK how Canada brings it. Your Majesty, Prince Harry, President and Mrs. Obama. Boom! Orlando, Invictus Games. Canada's ready.
Neither Justin nor I are afraid to label ourselves as feminists.
And although many feminists in our country have broken down barriers and paved the way and brought us to where we are today, we have to continue to build on their work. And that takes place in our everyday life. I think being a feminist is the right thing to do, but it's also the smart thing to do.
You really are quite comfortable with describing yourself as a feminist. Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I'm going to keep saying loud and clearly that I am a feminist.
A scathing report about the conduct of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Canada's Ethics Commissioner has found the Prime Minister violated the Conflict of Interest Act and that he did seek to improperly influence then Attorney General and Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould to intervene in a criminal prosecution case involving SNC-Lavalin. It's what Wilson-Raybould, once a star in Trudeau's cabinet, has said from the beginning. Now, the Ethics Commissioner confirms it, writing, "The authority of the Prime Minister and his office was used to circumvent, undermine, and ultimately attempt to discredit the decision of the Director of Public Prosecutions, as well as the authority of Ms. Wilson-Raybould as the Crown's Chief Law Officer." And when the story first broke back in February, the Prime Minister denied it all.
The allegations in the Globe story this morning are false. Neither the current nor the previous Attorney General was ever directed by me or by anyone in my office to take a decision in this matter.
And today, well, Trudeau didn't apologize. He said he accepts the report, though doesn't agree with parts of it.
We recognize that the way this happened shouldn't have happened, and I take responsibility for the mistakes that I made.
What do you say to the young women who are here for Daughters of the Vote that might be discouraged that you just kicked two strong women out of your caucus?
I look forward to not just speaking to those young women who are here for Daughters of the Vote, but listening to them. I know
some people, they're not stupid, they're full of shit. That doesn't take very long to spot either, does it? Take you about the same amount of time. You'll be listening to some guy and say, well, he's fairly intelligent. He's full of shit.
I feel that I acted inappropriately in any way, but I respect the fact that someone else might have experienced that differently.
Justin Trudeau's tone today has noticeably changed from just a few days ago.
I had a good day that day. I don't remember any negative interactions that day at all.
That kind of lawyerly language was criticized, with some saying they just didn't buy his answer. The allegation dates back to a BC festival in August of 2000, well before Trudeau entered politics. The next day, an unsigned editorial appeared in the local newspaper, the Creston Valley Advance. It accused Trudeau of groping and inappropriately handling an unnamed young female reporter. There were no other specifics about the alleged physical contact. The editorial says when Trudeau was asked about the incident, he responded, "I'm sorry, if I had known you were reporting for a national paper, I never would have been so forward."
If I apologized later, then it would be because I sensed that she was not entirely comfortable with the interaction we had. Poverty is sexist. It is exactly the example of the kinds of things you need to do to counter the she-cession and turn it into a she-covery.
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
A mea culpa from the Prime Minister today. Justin Trudeau addressed reporters for the first time since his family's ties to the We charity came to light. The charity was awarded a multi-million-dollar contract to administer the Summer Student Grants Program. Abigail Beeman has more on the apology and the change in tone from Ottawa.
Weeks after questions about we began, the Prime Minister now says he shouldn't have been involved in cabinet conversations about granting we a nearly $1 billion contract.
I made a mistake in not recusing myself immediately from the discussions, given our family's history. And I'm sincerely sorry.
His family's history includes $312,000 paid to his mother for speaking events over the past 4 years, $40,000 for his brother, and a $1,400 payment for his wife in 2012. Monday afternoon, the finance minister tweeted an apology for not recusing himself too. His daughter works for the We organization. The Prime Minister was not clear about whether he knew his family was paid.
I knew that my brother and my mother work as professional public speakers, and it is not surprising to me that they got paid by we, but I did not know the details, and as I said, I should have known the details.
On the words and actions of the U.S. president. But we do have Donald Trump now calling for military action against protesters. We saw protesters tear gas yesterday to make way for a presidential photo op. I'd like to ask you what you think about that, and if you don't want to comment, what message do you think you're sending? We all watch in horror and consternation what's going on in the United States.
Oh, no, he was sniffing glue in the parking lot.
Before I take questions from the media, I want to address the issue of last week. Traveling on September 30th was a mistake, and I regret it. The first National Day of Truth and Reconciliation was a time for Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people alike to reflect and connect, think about the past, but also focus on the future.
Thank you.
As offensive photos emerge of the Prime Minister in brown and blackface, we have breaking news with a third photograph and all the impact this is going to have on the federal election.
Hello?
Yo, Pops.
Boy, what the fudge are you doing?
You know, just laying down some rhymes for G-Folk, you know what I'm saying?
Get in here!
West Side.
Regardless of the context or the circumstances, is always unacceptable because of the racist history of blackface. I should have understood that then, and I never should have done it. I recognize that it is something absolutely unacceptable to do, and yeah, I appreciate calling it makeup, but it was blackface, and that is just not right.
You told us last night on the plane that of all of the different instances that you recalled, have you since been made aware or remembered of other instances, and if so, how many?
I am wary of being definitive about this because the recent pictures that came out, I had not remembered. And I think the question is, how can you not remember that? The fact is, I didn't understand how hurtful this is to people who live with discrimination every single day.
In the United States, when they've been discovered these sorts of things, they are asked to resign. Have you given thought to resigning?
I take responsibility for my decision to do that. I shouldn't have done it. I should have known better. It was something that I didn't think was racist at the time, but now I recognize it was something racist to do, and I am.
Something like this, Mr. Trudeau, is that the only time in your life you've ever done something like that?
When I was in high school, I dressed up at a talent show and sang Dale. With makeup on.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing.
President Trump's mood may well have been soured by this video. Canada's Prime Minister caught, apparently gossiping about him to Boris Johnson and others. The president hit back at Justin Trudeau.
Well, he's two-faced. My little potato, you're my little potato, you're my little potato, they dug you up, you come from underground.